so I'm gonna switch me and Ryan out here.
I'm gonna give you a fist bump. I've been anything I don't know real bad. I'm trying to quarantine myself. Good to see you.
You know, Ryan's not here if you want to move down. Dennis is,
I'm gonna move him.
or move Dennis, yeah. Move everybody down one since Ryan's not here.
Oh wait, no, that's
We're moving you down since Ryan's not here.
I'm on. There you go, Mr. Dennis. Sorry, I nabbed it right before you came.
Yeah, and then COVID, so we just kept. Yeah.
Yeah, I brought one.
Angela, I may have to turn to you to listen to you. I have a little hard of hearing out of this here. For years and years.
That's a good thing, though.
I'm going back.
So if I look like I'm hugging you, it's just I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Gene, let me look at your tennis shoes, man.
Yeah, you wear mine next time.
That's a Dartmouth Flash right there.
Tennis shoes are in these days. People wear them with suits and everything.
I refuse to do that. No, I'm not doing that. But I see a lot of folks who are.
Yes. Okay. Can be. For you it will be because you're here. It's gonna be so.
Ah.
Hey, good.
Everybody's got an opinion. Brad Stevens.
2 years, and I'm good drive. I've been
Yes,
I'll
it
finish.
was.
That's good.
I live about 4 blocks from campus, so I'm there all the time.
I guess so. Get away from here so I can get home. Tech guy?
Well, I'm a lawyer, so I have an office the other direction, so I can walk to that office.
So that, in order for me to get elected to the board, I had to, I had to be
13-ish. Everybody's got a decline of some sort.
My friend Bailey, she beat me for the UL system, and then I ran for regions, and then, well, of course, we said only she and I could do that, and not like affect us.
Dr. Gallo,
If there's anyone else.
testing.
That's how I got for the
Testing.
LSU in Southern. I need to. I'm not sure.
Hello? Hello? Testing. I don't see a button. Wait, is there a button up here? Wait.
Took 6, would you?
Hello? There. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Jimmy Clark. I serve and function as the chair of the University of Louisiana Assistant Board of Supervisors. I want to welcome you here today. First of all, let me apologize for our little bit of a delayed start. We had a number of members of the search committee who were coming from out of town, and we wanted to be sure that we had the opportunity to get all of them, or at least the majority of them, here today. You're going to meet them in just a moment. But before we begin, I need to read a note just to be sure I am complying with all rules and regulations. Before we begin today's proceedings, I'd like to mention that if any member of the public wishes to comment, he or she must complete a public comment card and turn it into a UL system staff member who is seated at the front or to the side over there. So all of those, and we certainly encourage individuals to participate and to speak to us today. So if you haven't had the opportunity to fill out a card, please feel free to go and fill one out. All right, and so before we begin, though, I'd also like to ask Supervisor Donahoe if you wouldn't mind providing today's invocation.
If you will, join me in prayer. Dear Lord, we're so thankful for the opportunity that you've given us to come today to serve you and this great university. Help us to always be mindful that it's the students and their welfare and their ability to learn that we are most anxious to be sure that our new leader for this university will fulfill those tasks. Thank you for the blessings you've given us. Guide us now and help us always to remember to help each and every person that we meet every day. Thank you, dear Lord. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Supervisor Donahoe. It's now time to call the roll. So, Dr. Calais, would you please do that for us?
Yes, sir.
President Rick Gallo,
Here.
Dr. Jimmy Clark,
Here.
Miss Lola Donahoe,
Present.
Dr. John Noble Jr., Mr. Dana Peterson,
Present.
Mr. Mark Romero,
Here.
Mr. Brad Stevens,
Here.
Miss Bailey Willis,
Here.
Dr. Vipin Manon,
Present.
Judge Charlotte Bushnell,
Present.
Judge James Kane Jr.,
Present.
Dr. John Condos, Mr. Sam Gill,
Here.
Miss Heather Griffith,
Here.
Mr. Kevin Guidry,
Present.
Miss Nicole Moncrief,
Here.
Mr. Ryan Navarre, Miss Angela Queenan,
Here.
Mr. Jason Rochelle, Mr. Dennis Stein,
Here.
Mr. Gray Stream,
Here.
Judge Jean Thibodeau.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Dr. Colley. As we all know, after nearly 7 years of service, Dr. Darrell Burkell is going to be leaving his role as president. As chair of the Board of Supervisors for the University of Louisiana System, one of my responsibilities is to appoint a search committee to help find the successor. Before going into that, I wanted to take a personal moment to just simply express my appreciation for the work that Dr. Burkell has done over those 7 years. I joined the board 5 years ago. I observed and watched him in his leadership role in extraordinarily difficult times for Southwest Louisiana. I cannot think of an individual whose abilities and stature and common sense leadership was so needed at that time. And I wanted to express my personal appreciation, and I think probably that of the board's as well. So Dr. Burkell, if you happen to be listening, I don't see you in the audience, thank you very, very much for your service. Our board rules define a framework for appointing members to our search committees that, and using that framework, 8 voting members and 13 non-voting members have been appointed by myself. The 8 voting members are composed of 7 board members, including our student board member, and an individual to represent the McNeese faculty. In this case, it's the president of the Faculty Senate, Dr. Vipin Menon. In addition to these voting members, system policy allows for the appointment of non-voting advisory members to participate in the search process. Advisory members provide important perspectives and partake in all discussion and activities related to the search process. However, they do not vote in the final circumstance. I want to quickly read the names of those 13 advisory members, then we're going to ask them to be introducing themselves momentarily. As you may have heard during the roll call, the Honorable Judge Charlotte Bushnell, the Honorable Judge James Kane Jr., Dr. John Condos, Mr. Sam Gill, Ms. Heather Griffith, Mr. Kevin Guidry, Ms. Nicole Moncrief, Mr. Ryan Navarre, Ms. Angela Queenan, Mr. Jason Rochelle, Mr. Dennis Stein, Mr. Gray Stream, and the Honorable Judge Jean Thibodeau. I want to acknowledge and recognize that there are 3 individuals who are not here today. We knew about it. They actually called in earlier to see if they could speak, and we just logistically couldn't make it happen. But Ryan Navarre and Dr. John Condos are both out of town, as is Dr. John Noble, who is the newest member of the University of Louisiana System Board. He will be representing this area as well. He's actually, I think, an at-large member, but he will be certainly plugged into this process as well, but he was unable to be here today. Now, our 14th non-voting member is President Rick Gallo. He's the president and CEO of the University of Louisiana System, who also serves as the search committee chair in accordance with our board rules. So at this time, but before going into his conversation discussion, I would like the committee members to introduce themselves. And so, Sam, if you wouldn't mind starting down on that far end, giving us an introduction.
Hello, everybody. My name is Samuel Gill. I'm the student body president here at McNeese State University, and I also serve on the Louisiana Board of Regents.
My name is Dennis Stein. I'm a dual graduate from McNeese and very proud to be a McNeese graduate, and I'm with Stein Lumber Company.
Angela Queenan, I'm the current board president for the McNeese Foundation, and I'm vice president of Global Crane and Rigging.
Good afternoon, Jean Thibodeau. I'm the retired chief judge of the Louisiana Third Circuit Court of Appeal, domiciled here in Lake Charles, and I'm also a member of the McNeese Foundation.
Good afternoon. My name is Bailey Willis. I'm the SJ president at Northwestern State University, and I'm the UL Board of Supervisors student board member.
My name is Lola Donahoe, and I'm also a board member with the ULS system, and I'm from Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Good afternoon. I'm Dana Peterson, UL System Board Member, and I live in New Orleans.
And we'll come back to Dr. Gallo momentarily. And just for recognition, again, Jimmy Clark and I am from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Brad Stevens from Hammond. I'm an attorney. I'm on the Board of Supervisors. I'm serving as Vice Chair currently.
Mark Romero, I'm from New Iberia, UL System Board Member, serving this particular district.
My name is Vipin Menon. I have been teaching at McNeese for the last 17 years. I represent the faculty on the search committee, where I serve as the faculty senate president.
Good afternoon. I'm Jason Rochelle. I'm a graduate of McNeese and also currently serve as the president of the McNeese Alumni Association.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole Moncrief, just an excited community member, HR professional for many years.
Hi, my name is Heather Griffith, and I am a graduate from McNeese State University, and also was a college athlete here from 97 to 02, and I'm very excited to be a part of this process and to grow the athletic departments. That's my main issue, and I have a lot of input and feedback from a lot of the coaches in the area.
Gray Stream, president of Stream Companies, live here in Lake Charles, and pleased to be involved. Thank you.
I'm James Kane. I'm a proud McNeese graduate, and I'm the United States District Judge in this area. Thank you.
My name is Charlotte Bushnell, and I am a retired workers' compensation judge, and I am honored to serve as a community representative here. Thank you.
Kevin Guidry, LSU alum, played football there, went on to play professional football, came back to my community, served at 18 years as a police juror, served 2 of those years as president, and I'm back here now as one of the port commissioners, and like the young lady said earlier, I'm definitely looking in to see what we can do better here at McNeese in sports.
Thank you all very, very much. You can see from the introductions we have an extraordinarily talented, distinguished group of individuals to help guide us in this process. I want to be sure to explain that from our vantage point as board members, the distinguished or the non-voting, voting circumstance, it really does not play much of an issue at all other than when we have to vote to approve minutes and do that type of thing. The community members' participation, their input, their insights, their vocal expressions of interest and opinions are equal to any of those of us who happen to serve as supervisors. I want to be clear of that, and certainly want to make sure that the board members would concur in that who have been through previous searches. We count heavily upon these individuals. Likewise, we count heavily upon you in this process, and you'll hear about how you can participate not just today but futuristically to help let us pick for you the right person for this time. With that, I want to go ahead and turn this meeting over to our committee chair, if I may, President Rick Gallo.
Thank you, Dr. Clark, and good afternoon. I'm Rick Gallo. Honored to serve as President and CEO of the University of Louisiana System. I am 31 days on the job and in my second presidential search. So,
That's right.
I, again, want to thank Dr. Clark and members of the search committee, and welcome to everyone here. Today we will map out the framework for the presidential search, including approving a charge, tentative timeline, and a draft advertisement. The binders provided for you include materials that will be important to this afternoon's discussion. Please bring those with you to subsequent meetings. The first order of business is to review the charge to the committee. Tab 2 in your binder outlines the charge to the committee. The charge is rooted in our board rules and PPMs, which are found in tab 3. The committee's charge is as follows. Recommend at least 2 names to the board consistent with past practice. Could be more than 2 names, but it must be at least 2. And the board will select, the Board of Supervisors will select the next president. We'll define a procedure and timeline. The timeline could evolve, and we'll discuss that a little more in depth shortly. There will be a visit to the campus to obtain public input, which is what we're doing today. Later, we will listen to faculty, students, staff, alumni, and community members. In particular, we are interested to learn what qualifications are essential in the next president if he or she is to succeed in this role. As well, we hope to hear perspectives on the top priorities for the new president to address. We will screen applicants and check references. We will interview qualified candidates. We will conduct semifinalist interviews here on the campus of McNeese. We will involve several meetings with faculty, staff, students, and community members. The search committee will conduct open interviews at that time. Are there any questions about the charge from any members of the committee? I would then ask for a motion and a second to accept the charge as modified for the McNeese committee search.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Donahoe, second by Mr. Romero. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you. Now I'll move on to the discussion of the search process and tentative timeline. Next, please refer to your binders again to tab 4, where you will find information related to the search process. Essentially, our process involves selecting the search committee, which was done last month, soliciting feedback from the campus to help broaden our understanding of issues and important characteristics in a successful president, developing an ad, which we will discuss shortly, publishing that ad, screening and selecting applicants to interview, interviewing applicants on campus, recommending at least 2 names to the board. The process is pretty straightforward, and of course, we want to be as transparent as possible throughout this process. Are there any questions regarding the process from members of the committee? The process has an associated timeline also found with the materials in tab 5. The next phase consists of waiting on applicants during the advertising promotional phase. We will meet afterwards to select candidates to interview. We will return to campus to interview semifinalists in April. The current timeline shows our board making a selection at a special board meeting on April 24th or 25th in Baton Rouge. Please be reminded that the timeline is tentative. The search will take its own life and may need to be altered depending on circumstances, and the timeline will be revisited if needed. I would now ask for a motion to accept the process and timeline for the McNeese search. Do I have a motion?
Before we have a motion, Dr. Colley, can you maybe clarify in terms of the timeline? We have different dates, and are we set on those dates? Just so, I mean, we've talked in generalities there. I want to be sure that everybody is hearing the same thing.
Yes, sir, we are pretty set on those dates. Regarding the final meeting, which actually will be the board meeting and the special board meeting, rather, that won't necessarily involve the committee at that point, but all of the other dates above are pretty much set.
Okay, so from the standpoint of, planning our calendars and understanding the commitments and access to venues and so on here, we're looking at advertising February, March. Preferred date for nominations is the March 22nd.
Yes, sir.
Okay, March 29th, then this committee will be receiving a list of the actual candidates who meet those minimum qualifications that are vetted internally.
Yes, sir.
Then April 4th, we will meet as a committee back in Baton Rouge to review applicant materials and to select semifinalists. That's the committee process at that particular point in time.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
And I guess my main question then is on the April 15th to 18th, that's a 4-day window. Have we narrowed that, or can we narrow that?
Yes, sir, we can. So based on space availability, we are actually looking at April 16th and 17th, Tuesday, April 16th, and Wednesday, April 17th.
And that's the on-campus interviews, and that's when faculty, staff, students, community members would be meeting those candidates to have an opportunity to engage and provide feedback as well.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay. All right. I I just thank you for helping me understand our
Yes,
dates.
sir.
All right. So back to you, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, so then, are there any other questions? I would ask for a motion to accept the process and timeline for the McNeese presidential search.
So moved, Stevens.
Moved by Mr. Stevens, second by Mr. Romero. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Next, we will have a short discussion about the advertisement that will appear on the websites of Inside Higher Ed, Diverse Issues in Higher Education, Women in Higher Education, the Journal of Blacks in Higher Education, and the Chronicle of Higher Education. A draft ad is included in your binders under tab 6. You will note that we have developed a first draft of an ad specifically for this search that provides information about the job, university, and community. It indicates how one can apply. We will begin publishing the ad as early as tomorrow. The preferred date to receive completed applications for review and to select candidates for interviews is Friday, March 22nd, 2024. Are there any questions or comments about the advertisement?
Yes, sir, I do. As it relates to what it says here, all applicants will go to get additional information about additional, like, degree qualifications and all of that to this email address?
Yeah, if there are questions that the applicants have or potential applicants, yes, they can submit those questions through the email address that will be provided, correct.
Perfect, thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Do we have a motion to approve the advertisement?
So moved, Stevens.
Moved by Mr. Stevens.
Second.
Second by Ms. Willis. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. In order to fulfill our search responsibilities, it is important that we have a good sense and understanding of this university and its constituents. In the left-hand pocket of your binders is an overview of McNeese State University. Now we will move into the public forum portion of the meeting. Our board rules require that we hold a public forum as part of our search process. This part of the meeting will allow for public input. We are here today to listen to you, to faculty, students, staff, alumni, community members. Your input is vital to help us select the best possible person for the next president of McNeese. In particular, we are interested to learn what qualifications are essential in the next president if he or she is to succeed in this role. As well, the committee is excited to hear about your perspectives on top priorities for the new president to address. This is not intended to be a dialogue with the committee, nor is it intended to be a session to promote a particular individual for the position. We're here to listen and to learn. Our purpose is to learn about qualifications, characteristics, as well as issues, priorities, and challenges for the next president. Your comments will be helpful throughout the search and especially as we interview candidates later in the process. Your comments will be recorded and posted on YouTube and linked to our website where applicants, nominees, and other interested parties can access the comments. As well, we encourage all of you to visit the University of Louisiana System website for information and latest updates about the presidential search process. And for those of you who would like to submit a written comment to the search committee, you will find an email link to do so. Now, I will ask Dr. Janine O'Rourke, System Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, to facilitate this portion of our meeting.
Thank you, President Gallo, and good afternoon to you, members of the search committee, and to those in the audience. It's wonderful to see everyone turning out for such an important inaugural event and for the process that will unfold to find your next president here at McNeese State University. We would like interested individuals to stand when, what we're going to do is we're going to ask individuals to stand and come forward when I call your name. We will need you to fill out a comment card in order to do so. We have a very simple process that will help keep some organization to input that you all would like to provide in regards to what you're seeking for the next president of McNeese State University. Again, as President Gallo mentioned, the purpose is to learn more about your thoughts concerning important qualifications and/or priorities for the next presidents. Individuals who wish to address the committee should, like I mentioned, fill out a comment card and hand those to, we have two young ladies in the back, they're juniors here at McNeese. If you haven't filled out a card, and as we ask individuals to move forward, you are more than welcome. The door is not closed. Feel free to ask one of the ladies to grab a card for you, or walk to the back yourself and fill it out, and then they'll bring the card to me so we can continue on with any dialogue. Cards will be collected, as I mentioned, throughout this session, and at one at a time, we'll bring you all up to one of the two mics, whichever you're comfortable in using. Speakers will have 2 minutes to express their views. When 30 seconds remain, I'll hold up this yellow card, very fancy. And then when we're out of time and we ask for you to wrap up, just to be respectful of everyone's time, I'll put up this red card and ask that you close any commentary that you might wish to share with members of the search committee. Again, only those that have completed comments card will be asked to come forward. And at this time, I do have about 7 cards, and so we'll go ahead and start with this process. Again, if you have not filled out a card, you are invited to do so as we move forward with the comments from the public that are here in today. Right now, if I can ask Destiny Karst, I believe it is, and Destiny is a member of SGA, so please come forward to the mic and address the group. Yeah, it should be hot.
Hello, my name is Destiny Carson.
No,
No.
it's
Could
not
you
on.
speak up a little bit?
Yeah.
We can't hear.
Let's get that mic. We'll get it.
This one's working, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Destiny Carson. I'm a member of SGA. I'm the art senator. I'm here because Sam asked me to. I will try and make this as brief as I possibly can.
No, it's,
Just step up a little closer.
Step to the mic.
Hello, my name is Destiny
much
Carson.
better.
Is this hurting everyone's ears?
No, you're
Okay.
fine.
I'm a member of SGA. I'm an art senator. I'm here because Sam asked me to. I'm going to try and make this very fast because I've only got 2 minutes. There are 2 qualifications that I feel like really need to be incorporated when looking into a president, because these are 2 issues that I feel like, if are not addressed, really could harm our school. The first one is that we have stopped offering a lot of associate's degrees, and we're losing a whole bunch of students to Sewella because there are people who cannot afford a bachelor's degree and are going to Sewella to get an associate's degree because they want to enter the workforce faster. We used to offer associate's degrees. We stopped because we offer minors. You can have a minor if you have a bachelor's degree, but you can't basically expect a minor to be an associate's degree. Associate's degree is 60 credit hours. A minor is 18. Associate's degree looks better on a resume than a minor does. You can win a job based off of an associate's degree. I've seen it happen, and we're just losing free money because we refuse to do this. It's retarded, basically. Sorry to say that, but it's really dumb that we have the ability to offer this. We used to, and we just stopped because we thought that minors were good enough. It's not. We are losing students. Also, we need to take our master's degree more seriously. In the past, a bachelor's degree was a master's degree. That is not how it is today. We need to start adjusting with the times and diversifying our degrees. There are tons of degrees we could offer that we're only a few classes away from offering. Second thing is we're giving too many liberties to teachers bringing up political and divisive issues in classes. I've personally experienced a poetry workshop that was basically just a political speech attacking one side, and it was a student-led class, and half the class left because of it. And I feel like the next president needs to hold teachers more up to par with professionalism, because this is a conservative state, and I don't want to pay money to go into class and not learn the skills.
Destiny, thank you so much for those comments. I did want to, and that's why this forum is so incredibly important. In terms of the associate's degrees, those changes were made several years ago, and with the introduction of the community and technical college system. So many of our 4-year institutions no longer have the ability to offer associate's degrees. So the president would not unilaterally be able to come in and start offering associate's degrees, and that's why having relationships with Sewella and with other community and technical colleges has become very more important than ever for our four-year university. So this is good so that we can talk about setting the appropriate expectations so that when the next president comes and 2 years into his or her tenure, you come back and say, I said you should do associate's degrees, that the president doesn't have the authority to do that. So, but thank you for that question, because there may have been other people who had that same question, and it'll help us to help you and everyone to understand what we can and cannot do in these roles.
Thank you, President Gallo, for clarifying that. Next, we have Ms. Donna Little, who is retired staff here at McNeese from the Louisiana Small Business Development Center. And Ms. Donna?
Hello. As was said, I am a retired staff member, also double alum, a bachelor's and a master of business administration from McNeese. I want to encourage the new president to continue making McNeese part of the community. To me, that's what connected most from my bachelor's degree from my time here at the university, is having a sense of being part of a larger community than just the on-campus group. Second, I want to encourage the new president to continue to support entrepreneurship at its grassroots level, not just the big industries, the extreme industries, Stein Lumber, the big guys in this market, but the small entrepreneurs who are getting their start or who are growing a small business and becoming a more valuable part of the economic community. That's my 2 points. Thank you.
Can we ask a question to follow up?
Yeah.
Donna, to your first point about continuing to make McNeese a part of the community, are there things that are occurring currently that you can identify specifically, like the types of thing a president would do or the community, the institution is doing?
Up here, yes. For example, Dr. Burkell once a month has been part of the KBYS community. John Bridges, who is a KPLC anchor, has a program every Saturday night on KBYS, the McNeese Community Radio. And once a month, Dr. Burkell is on that program for about an hour. He takes calling questions. He discusses what's going on in the community, what's going on at McNeese. McNeese also has a weekly, mostly weekly, email newsletter, and that was probably part of President's incentive. Candace could tell us that, and that needs to stay. Communicating with the community, being visible in the community, going to events and shaking hands, supporting McNeese alumni, that's all part of being part of the community.
Thank you. Very, very helpful.
Thank you, Ms. Little. Next, we have, I believe it's Philippe Gerard, who's on faculty here at McNeese. If I mispronounced that, my apologies.
Can we get someone to check this microphone and see if it's working?
Well, good afternoon, members of the committee. Thank you for coming here. I am Philippe Gerard. I'm a professor in the history department here. So I guess I'm not applying for the job or representing the department. I'm just speaking as a regular faculty. I wanted to remind you that the job you're doing is going to be an important one. McNeese, about 10 years ago, had close to 8,000 students. The latest numbers have us close to 5,000. And I know we had hurricanes and such, but it's still a big drop. So whoever you point next has to do a good job on that. I would say my experience, the students who come to McNeese, they do it for one reason. It's excellence with a personal touch, the quality of the teaching in the classroom. And I know it's important to have athletics and connections to business community and such. But ultimately, those who pay our budget, the tuition, it comes from students, and they come to get quality education at an affordable price. So when you select the next person, please ask that person what you do to increase the quality of education, to keep tuition in check so that students can come in and afford. How do you select good faculty? How do you get them to stay? To me, that will be very essential to the future of McNeese. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next is Lakin Thomas from SGA.
Hi everyone, I'm Lakin Thomas. I am the Chief Diversity Officer for our SGA.
So it's really mainly my job to work with these campus professionals to further the DEI initiative. So in our future president, I've talked to various students and gathered their opinions. So I'm acting partially as a liaison for them and also just my thoughts. So for our president, we would want someone who is willingly and actively trying to further the DEI initiative, who recognizes that diversity is an important factor in cultivating a campus that students from all backgrounds can comfortably call home. It's not a trend. DEI is a necessity, even after this whole social media wave that is really pushing the message of DEI falls, away, that we still try to actively pursue these things. The president should be curious and willing to pursue the unknown and be absorbent of new experiences with students from all backgrounds. Not any diss to our past president or the current president who is leaving, but talking to these students, they didn't even know who he was, which could partially be because he was busy and he had things to do, but this is a problem when your own students do not know who you are. So, just as a leader of an educational institution, they should know that, it's okay for you to be teachable too. It's okay for you to be transparent with what you are struggling to understand as far as DEI, as far as someone who is from 3,000 miles away. You should be willing to at least meet them in the middle and learn how you can better serve them in your role, even as y'all's jobs as well. As far as equity, the president should be dedicated to dismantling any systemic barriers that our campus may have through enhanced access and success programs for marginalized students. A lot of us come from neighboring smaller towns I'm personally from Oberlin, Louisiana, where there's less than 2,000 people. So when I started off, I had way less resources than someone who is from Lake Charles or much less from Houston or, any of those things. So we need a president who understands that, but enforces policies that helps with this to help make things more equitable. And as far as inclusion, just the willingness to listen to and amplify these voices of underrepresented students. Again, with the policies, they could create mentorship programs, ensuring that our curriculum, as Destiny mentioned, reflects the diverse range of all perspectives, not just what that professor personally believes in. I've experienced that too, and that's very real. And lastly, students, we really just want y'all to know we don't necessarily want a perfect president, but we want a willing president. We're willing to also, it's a two-way relationship with DEI. You have to be willing to bridge that gap in what you don't know and what you're willing to learn, and you need to talk to someone who you do not know and see what you can learn from them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your very eloquent commentary for participating today. Next, we have Louis Gilly, who is a member of SGA as well. Great job for showing out today, folks.
Good afternoon. My name is Louis Gilly, and I'm an incredibly involved student with the campus in the areas of SGA, Rowdy Riders, and my fraternity. But above all else, I'm a freshman here at McNeese. In my time at McNeese, it is apparent that our next president should consist of someone who is deeply rooted into the community. Being a local to Lake Charles, I would appreciate someone who shares the same love and care for the Cowboys as the community does. Someone who can be found at the various McNeese events, cheering on our Cowboys as well as engaging with the students. McNeese is ready to grow with its increasing potential as a university. Therefore, we need someone dedicated to finding other sources of funding for our university. Outside of securing the financial future of our university, it is increasingly vital that our students have a leader to support our campus organizations and our athletic teams, especially rodeo and wrestling, get the financial means to support them. We need someone who is deeply rooted in this community, who possesses the potential to expand McNeese to the university it is destined for. Thank you, and God bless.
Wait, before you go, so tell me about the Rowdy Riders.
So that's our freshman orientation camp for incoming students. We have also, within Rowdy Riders, a international student program and a transfer student orientation program.
Okay, so it's not a part of the rodeo team or anything?
No. As much as I'd like to say so.
I don't know, President Gallo, they're rodeoing the students, right? So that's one way to corral them, I suppose. There are 2 comment cards remaining. If you would like to participate in the conversation today and have not filled out a card, there is still time. So flag down one of the young ladies in the back, you're more than welcome to continue on with the conversation. If we can have Katie Williams, who's a member of faculty here at McNeese, that'd be great.
Hello, everybody. I'm an alumni, a faculty, and a community member here in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'd like you to consider the following as part of your search and charge. The first thing is the landscape of education. Bringing up that the landscape of higher education is not the same that most of us went to school and graduated in. So the students and what they need is different than what we needed as students when we graduated from McNeese State University. We need to consider today's demographics. We need to consider their financial needs. As part of that diverse student demographic, many of them are not coming from wealthy families. They come from first generation families. And we need to think of fundraising for scholarship opportunities and financial aid opportunities so that they want to be recruited to McNeese State University. We also need to think about faculty members. Over the past year, we've had lots of cuts to the resources across campus. Many of our faculty members have taken on additional roles and responsibilities to fill in those gaps to the cuts across to staff and faculty. I think a new president needs to consider all those additional roles and responsibilities and mitigate against burnout for faculty. We have a lot of good faculty on staff. Makes me sad that I heard some more negative experiences, but I really think that if a new president needs to come in understanding that the plate is full for faculty, and if we want to see students supported adequately, we really need a president that can support the faculty so that burnout isn't just a constant turnover on our end as well. There's some of us that have a real heart for this university, and I can see it, and they have innovative ideas, and to be able to come to the table and express those innovative ideas, because again, the landscape of education is different. Students need different things, and we need a president that brings those ideas, that listens to those ideas both in the community and faculty, and leverages them in a positive way. Thank you.
Katie, I have one question. One of the comments you made, you said one of the things that's really bothering you among the faculty here at McNeese is that burnout. Explain that to me when you say that.
Sure. So we've had a lot of cuts across campus in recruitment and in different resources across campus. So a lot of those tasks fall on a partnership between the staff that are already there, which it's a skeletal crew right now, and the departments. So a lot of initiatives are really led by some of the faculty, and again, those are big lifts. Acknowledging the social and emotional needs of our students, acknowledging their financial needs, connecting them with the proper resources. It's not just teaching and holding office hours. And so I just think we need a president that understands the roles and responsibilities that are being asked of faculty at this time to prevent that burnout.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The last comment card that we have is from Dr. Terry Simpson, who's on faculty, an alum of the institution, member of the community, and on faculty senate.
And I've been around forever, I feel like. Not here, though. I am a relatively new hire to McNeese. I've been here 4 years. Spent time in the community as a controller, business manager, shifted gears and became an educator. I have 25 years now in the education field. What I see that we need as our president, and what I ask you to take care of for us, is to find someone who has clear communications with all of their constituents, not just the community, not just the students, but the faculty and staff as well. There are initiatives, like Dr. Williams mentioned, that faculty have taken on. I'm not sure at times that our presidency really realizes what's being done. It's not that we're complaining about taking on those responsibilities. It's the fact that it is in addition to teaching multiple hours, multiple times. So no complaints. I love my job. But sometimes it would be nice to say, I saw you were working on that program. That's awesome. We don't hear that very often. I also think that because I'm an ex-business person, are you really an ex-business person, or is it kind of like being a Marine? You're never a former. Some of our procedures and processes are anchored in my mind about the 15th century. I would love to see us get to 21st century processes that would ease the flow for our students in registration. It would ease the flow for our faculty in finding students and taking care of them. We have made some small steps, but I don't know that it's systemic, and I think it needs to be sustainable and placed there. And my last point is the strong leadership role that is required from a president. It's almost like they have to be Superman, and I hate to say that, but they need to be all places at all times, and they need to show a clear leadership for both the community, for their college, and they also need to have an understanding of the academics for each college within the university. There are accreditation bodies that we all answer to, and I think the president should be well aware of what those are, because sometimes we're reaching really high limits with just a few handful of staff. So I thank you for your time. I thank you for the charge that you have, and thank you for letting me talk to you today.
President Gallo, that concludes, oh, no. Going once, going twice. And we have a comment card filled out by Dr. Brock Hanneman. Is it Brooke? Brooke.
Sorry, I just wanted to squeeze in here. I'm director of Banners at McNeese State University. It's a 30-year-old program that brings arts programming and the humanities programming and tons of outreach to our area. And one of the things I just wanted to mention is that Lake Charles is unique in that there is an embarrassment of riches in terms of talent, musical, literary talent, theatrical talent, visual arts talent. We have a really unique history as well. Nellie Lutcher, Pulitzer Prize-winning playwrights. But it's also unique in that we don't have an arts infrastructure. And what I mean by that is if you are a musician or an actor, you can't really live in Lake Charles without another job. And so McNeese has a really unique opportunity to be able to reach into the community and take that talent that we have here. It's wild how much talent we have here. There's high schools that have turned away over 100 students at their drama club because there wasn't room for them. And so McNeese has an opportunity to kind of create a place for these kind of artists to learn and grow. But I would love it if our next president also understood that in addition to education and athletics, that arts and culture are really vital to us. And also, you know, through the music department, through art, through theater, this is a way that McNeese gets to reach into the community. We get to go into old folks' homes and reach the youth. And so I would hope that our next president would think of that also. Thank you.
Now I believe that concludes public comment portion of the meeting. President Gallo.
Okay. Members of the committee, if they have any thoughts.
You know, Dr. Clark was just mentioning, do any of the members of the search committee have any thoughts that you'd like to share? You know, goals, aspirations, characteristics, experiences that may help those potential candidates out there who may be looking at a replay of this session today, that they may consider applying after hearing some of the things. So do any members of the committee have any thoughts to share about what you'd like to see in a candidate? Yes, sir. Yes. Get a microphone.
Yes. Hi, my name is Vipin Menon. I lead the Faculty Senate. These are thoughts of many of our senators that I'm summarizing here. We really need a president on our campus who is well-spoken, who's charismatic, who's knowledgeable, and in my mind personally, one who cares deeply, very deeply, about the success of others. we need a president who will want to make this a better place for all McNeese faculty, and thereby for all our McNeese students. Because you think of who to keep happy, 250 faculty versus 6,000 students. It's easier to keep the faculty motivated and engaged than trying to reach the larger 6,000 audience directly, because the faculty can reach out to the students every week, several times every week. I also heard these specific suggestions for the new president from many of my colleagues. I see many of, I probably am the person on this table that probably knows more than half the people in this room by name and face, so I probably speak for several of them, including our senators past and present. We would like to see our president keep some open office hours every week where faculty can approach them and bring their problems to them, as opposed to being caught in chains of command and all the bureaucracy. We'd like the president to engage with the faculty, both collectively and also individually. We would like the president to solicit ideas from the faculty senate, because each senator on the Senate, many of whom are here, Senator Simpson who spoke, and Sonia and Ann was a senator before, Rhonda was on. Most of the people here have been involved in some level or the other. We would like to have the president solicit ideas from the faculty senate, because each senator is elected by their peers. We speak for other faculty, we're not just random self-appointed people. Personally, I have interacted with all the, I guess, the last 3 presidents and probably every provost and I'm sure every dean in the last 15 years. I would like to see the president create a system where every issue is treated on merit, not on who's saying it, but what the issue is. We need to see more of that. And I think the more we talk about this openly and bring the issues into light, the better we get. I love reading my student evaluations, because that's how I know what are the things I have to fix. I mean, not reading it is probably not accepting feedback. And I think when we get feedback, we get better without taking it personally, or at least too personally. Also, I'd like to see a president come in that's got a genuine belief in the concept of shared governance. 500 years before Jesus Christ, Buddha said, Lord Buddha said, the best thing to do with the best things in life is to give them up. When you give up power to others, you empower others, then you're actually empowering the whole community. That philosophy, I think, at McNeese has to start from the top and filter down quickly. It can't take years. Also, the president should get ideas from the faculty and get their perspectives before they make the decisions, as opposed to after. That word before is super, super important. I can't stress it enough. And I do want to say it openly, because if I say it in committee, it becomes part of a closed-door discussion. I'd like this to be on the record. And before I close, I do want to say a word of appreciation for Dr. Burkell. Many of us have met with him personally and in groups. Dr. Burkell inspires me. I wrote these after many hours of thinking, and I want to summarize in one word or one sentence. When I'm around Dr. Burkell, and I think many of us have been in meetings with him, I want to be at my best. That is how we inspire people. And that is, I think, something we will expect in the future president as well. That somebody who can, when we are around them, they kind of raise the bar. We want to be a better contributor to this university. So hopefully, we'll find somebody like that at the end of this process. Thank you.
Sam. Hello, everybody. Samuel Gill, student body president. Can y'all hear me okay? I know I'm pretty loud. So, I've worked with almost every category of stakeholders at McNeese State University, alumni, community members, and most specifically the students. And what we want out of the next leader is a very engaged and personal leader. McNeese is not big. We know everything that's going on. We hear it. Faculty tell us things, everything, everybody's interlocked. And we really, really want our president to be right there with us. We want our president to come to an SGA meeting every now and then, or check in on us and really see, like, how are we doing? What are the students feeling? How can we best drive this campus? I think that's a really, really big thing. One thing I'd like to specifically talk about is the support of athletics, of course, because we all know athletics drives entertainment, entertainment drives enrollment, and it's kind of cyclical. But just ensuring that there is, I guess, an equity of emphasis on those things, really making sure we support our faculty. I go to faculty senate meetings almost every month, and I hear a lot of what they're saying. And just making sure that those open lines of communication are always available. I think that's a massive thing we need to consider here. Continuing on, someone very business-oriented, somebody who is willing to look to the legislature to go fight for more funding, to have a dedicated role on this campus that will have governmental relations, because I think that's a very, very important thing for us. And I think we're missing on a lot of opportunities at the state level. Talking about the state level infrastructure, making sure that our infrastructure is coming up to par. McNeese, I think very soon, we have about $120 million in infrastructure about to get rolling, and I think that momentum is very crucial. The number one reason students come to McNeese State University is financial benefit. That is like one of the top reasons students come here. I've asked everybody, we always say because it was financially beneficial. But on the same coin, students are superficial. One of the things to examine is McNeese has some old buildings, and most of them look pretty good for their age. But to continue that momentum, we have a new student union coming, give us that fresh look. Landscaping, all those things. If Kevin Martin was here, I would sing his praises because he's done a fantastic job of that. But making sure that our university president recognizes that and that our facilities need to be up to par. And with facilities, good facilities, a great looking campus, great faculty comes recruitment. We've lost almost 1,500, 1,600 students in the last 5 years, 6 years. That, I did the math on that, that represents about a $13 million loss on the annual budget. We have to get our enrollment back up. Now, is it a national trend that enrollment is down? Yes. Did the coronavirus and the hurricanes happen? Yes. But we have to dig out of the hole. That's past, it's beyond past at this point. And we need to invest in our recruiting department, invest in our scholarships department, and have competitive offers for these kids and make sure we get them. The fact that we have people in our 5-parish area that'll go to other institutions and not McNeese has to be a massive factor in this and our leadership. And finally, just to round it all out, just a president you can walk up to and talk to. It's going to remember your name, going to, when you're at the basketball game, come shake your hand, hey Sam, how's it going? That's really big for this campus because our students are heavily invested in each other, our faculty are heavily invested in our students, and the president needs to be at the top of all of that. And so I'm very, very excited for this. I will continue to bring a vast amount of student opinions and use my voice. And as always, go Pokes.
Dr. Gallo, I'd like to make a final comment if I may. With a human resource lens, 28 years, recruitment is what I've looked at all my career, and not only for students, but for faculty and how we can do that. And recruiting the best and the brightest to come to the area. And I know that's been very difficult to bring them with storms and the things that we have, but recruitment is going to be a key thing that McNeese needs to take a look at. But then taking an opportunity, there are folks uniquely different like myself. I live in the area. I'm getting an advanced degree from another university. I want to put out a shameless plug for the McNeese Library. They are amazing, and they've done an amazing job to help me as a person who has a lot of research, and just making sure that we're, again, getting the best, the brightest, and rewarding those who are going above and beyond. Because I'm on this campus pretty often needing research things, and so I do, again, want to make sure we're looking at faculty and staff, because there are individuals that are going above and beyond. That Christmas break right before trying to get research information in, that help, that support, go McNeese Library. I got to say that out loud. We also need to look at quality of life activities for students and for those visiting your campus. Quality of life is what every person in industry, I've been in industry for quite a while. Quality of life is important. And how are we partnering with individuals throughout the community to make sure there's quality of life for international students, for those coming to the area? Listen, we all want an academic degree when it's all over, but we want to have a little fun in the process, and we need to look at how we partner to do that. I loved when we just did the big campaign that McNeese Works Here. I was a part of it for my employer. I loved it, and I love the momentum behind it. We have to do more of that to bring people to the area. And McNeese, one of the last things I want to look at is someone who's worked in human resources. It's important that we look at the curriculum to make sure we're staying with the times. We're making sure that there's academics that we can use, process controls in the engineering world to do some things like comparing what we do in IT or in our computer science department with engineering and how we pair that. Any HR person sitting in the city will tell you there's some scarce skills that we could build here right at home. And then the last thing is we have interns that are coming from all over the world that are coming here, and we've started an intern night as a part of industry. And how do we get McNeese involved with that process? Because the students love Lake Charles. The people here are amazing, and McNeese needs to be a part of that process because in the academic process, that's again a part of quality of life. So quality of life, how we look at recruitment, and then all together how we look at faculty and staff to make sure they're appreciated and rewarded for the work they do. Thanks.
I would like to see the president. There are two attributes that are in the ad: collaborative management and shared governance. Yeah. There are two attributes that are in the ad, and those are collaborative management and shared governance. Those two attributes are the essence of leadership. As I see it, the president has to surround himself or herself with strong individuals who can actually run this university on a day-to-day basis. If you want that president to be in the community and the president to be micro on campus, it's impossible without that person having a strong foundation of leadership under him. So as I see it, that person should recruit those individuals who are as strong as him or as strong as her to lead this university. That person should surround himself or herself with persons whose attributes are greater than his, or greater than hers. And I think that is the essence of leadership, the shared governance and the collaborative management. You've got, no one can, he can't, listen, you've got 50-degree programs and over 6,000 students. I remember when McNeese had almost 10,000 students. And so that person can't be everything to everybody, but his or her staff, that collaborative staff can.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Thank you, committee members, for that input. Is there any other business to come before the committee? Hearing none, we will move on towards adjournment. We realize that your time is valuable, and there are many other activities you could have attended this afternoon. You chose to share your thoughts with this committee because you care about the future of McNeese, and you understand the connectivity between the campus and this area of the state. As was the case with other presidential searches this board has conducted, we gained some valuable insights today. The information will be used to shape future discussions, and it will be shared with candidates who want the opportunity to come and be a part of this excellent campus and vibrant community. We look forward to continuing our dialogue with you and selecting a great president for this institution. We will need a motion and second to adjourn. Do we have a motion? So moved. Moved by Mr. Peterson. Second by, it has to be a voting oh, you are a voting member. And second by Dr. Miller. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you all so much.
Didn't he say something about the manager too?